Well, our expectation is to run pretty well here. We ran top 5 both races last year. This track, the first time I came here was 2000. I think in the Cup car was 2000, the end of 2004 or 2005, the first race, and we ran great. It was a blast. We had a super fast car. I think finished 6th, and I thought, man, it's gonna be my favorite racetrack. And then for about the next 4 or 5 years, it was terrible for us. And now we're back where we think we can win each time we come to Richmond. So that's good. We're proud to have Ford EcoBoost on the car. Ford's got the electric pace car. We checked that out this morning. It's pretty neat. They've got it real charged up. They said it'll have no problems, and we're hoping to get a win. We'd like to be up there in the points where our teammates are, and at this point, there's no better place for us to be than Richmond. And practice went really well. We were really fast in race trim, so I messed up my qualifying lap a little. That'll hurt us in qualifying, but as far as the position we go out, but I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a good race.
Okay, let's get to wireless right over here. John, let's get it to Jenna, and then we'll go to Bob. And we'll go right over here.
Hello.
Kim.
Jenna Fryer, AP. Where do you stand on this debate of late and that the way that the races have gone? Do you think that they are boring? Do you think that they're good for a driver, maybe bad for a fan? And why do you think that they've developed this way where they've been fairly incident-free?
I listened to a lot of the I did a lot of driving this week, and I listened to the Sirius XM channel, and I was surprised at how big of a debate this is, how many people are discussing this. I guess I am more people label some fans as racing purists, that they like the idea of watching the race cars go around. The guys work hard to drive them. That's what I like to see. So I'm more of a fan of what goes on the racetrack during the competition. I think that cautions and wrecks and all those things, I don't think they really, for me personally, they don't add a bunch to the competition. So I guess if a large number of fans, if that's important to them, if that's what they want to see, then NASCAR and all of us have to decide if what we're going to do about it. If we're going to let the races play out naturally and be the competitions that they are, which I think is the best thing. That's one way. Or if we're going to, if we're going to address each person's complaint and try to change the sport to fit people, I guess that's another way to go. But my opinion is that not every race has to be just an exciting, dramatic, crazy bumper to bumper finish, and then if you just let them play out naturally, you'll get those in really great moments. And it's only, what is it, 8? We've run 8 races or something. I mean, who knows what's going to happen? When we left Daytona, we sure weren't complaining about a lack of wrecks. There were a lot of wrecked race cars, so I think it'll be just fine.
Why do you think it's kind of been this way since California, Texas, Kansas?
I firmly believe, and NASCAR hates it when I say this, but I firmly believe that we should not be racing with downforce, side force, all these aerodynamic devices. We do not need splitters on the race car. We do not need giant spoilers. What's happened, in my opinion, it's my humble opinion. I have not been around long enough to say something definitely, but it's pretty common sense. If all of the cars are very, very similar, and all the drivers are really, really good, which we all think we are, and we're all within a tenth of a second of each other, but we're relying on all this downforce and this clean air to make the cars go that speed, well then, by definition, if the guy in front of you is disturbing the air, your car is not going to be able to go as fast as it can, as it could in clean air. So why don't we get rid of these aerodynamic devices and race cars on racetracks with tires that are softer because we don't have as much force on them, that they give up quicker? I mean, that's my opinion on how to make more to make the cars and the drivers able to do more, put it in the driver's hands, the crew chief's hands. I think that's important. I don't know if that'll make more exciting races, but it sure as hell make a guy able to go up through the field if he's got a fast race car, and I think that's exciting.
Bob, We'll go Bob, Kim, and Chuck.
Bob Parker, Sporting News. When you were listening to the radio, did you hear any questions of what's wrong with Carl Edwards, or what's why is he running kind of 8th to 10th instead of maybe more top 5 consistently?
I've got really good at ignoring commentary on me over the years. So, but I was actually on one of those morning shows, and they asked me that, and I said I gave our season a C+ because we've made a couple mistakes. But I'm telling you guys, we learned firsthand. We got beat by a guy last year who wasn't even hardly in the picture until the last 10 races. We are gearing up to be the best we can at the end of the year. We've got strength in our team right now. We do not have we don't have a giant weak point. We don't have a big problem anywhere. We've just got to start putting together better races, making better calls, qualifying a little better. There's some little things we got to work on. I think that we'll get there, and I tell you what, just don't count us out. We could be really good.
Let's go over here to Kim, and then Chuck, and then Gary Graves. Go ahead, Kim.
Carl.
Yep. So is this last night's race on the?
Yes.
I heard it was a really good finish. I haven't seen it yet.
Kim Robertson, Insider Racing News. I've been curious with the discussion recently about trying to get newer fans, younger fans, especially very young fans, in to become the new fan base of the future. Right. What is your first memory of going to a race, and why did it stick with you so much so that you eventually wanted to become a driver? I've
been going to races since I was 2 weeks old, so I don't remember the first race, but my earliest memories are going to the races with my parents and watching my dad race. And to me, it was something that, it looked kind of scary. Guys put on a fireproof suit and a helmet and go out there and race, and it just seemed really, really intense. And so from a young age, I was really captivated by the whole by the whole spectacle of the sport. And then as I got a little bit older, and I started to build up a little bit of confidence, I thought, man, maybe I could try that sometime. And the first time my dad let me drive his race car during a hot lap session, it was, I was ruined right then. It scared me and excited me, and it was spectacular. So that was, I guess I was from the beginning, this was where I was probably going to end up, at least wanting to do this, not in this position. I'm very fortunate to be here, but it's one of the neatest things in the world. And if we could get more kids to experience to educate the kids about what's going on at the racetrack, somehow get them in a race car, get them to experience that exhilaration and actually firsthand know what it's like to do this or to attempt to do it, I think they'd be hooked. Oh, boy. Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. The first thing is they'd have to come to me, because that's the thing my parents did. They never pushed me to race. They did everything they could to keep me from racing, and so I think if that's what they really want to do, they'll have to prove it to me that they really want to do it, and I'd be glad to help them but I'm not going to guide them along. Definitely not going to steer them towards racing. It'll be whatever they want to do.
Chuck.
Carl, Chuck Howard, NASCAR Media Group. Earlier this morning, we heard something we thought we'd never hear, and that was Matt Kenseth said he's looking forward to going to Talladega. And
why did he say that?
Well, because I asked him about where you guys are as a team as far as your super speedway package, and he says he's super confident. I'd have to think you concur about where you guys are.
Yeah, I could see what winning the 500 would make you feel that way. I'd have to say, if we can go there and work together the way we have, if we can do the things we've been doing at the super speedways, we're going to be pretty good there. But that place still, it's still that bottleneck in the season where anything can happen. We don't have any points to give up, so we're going to go there with a little different attitude, I'm sure, than Matt and Greg. They can go and have a bad race and they'll be okay. But that's one that kind of scares our team, because we don't want to be 15th in points right now. We need to be up there marching towards the top 5. But if we run the way we've run the last 6 or 8 restrictor plate races, we should be really good.
Let's go Gary Graves, Claire B., and then Monty. Go ahead, Gary.
Gary Graves, USA Today. Kind of going back to the state of racing, current state of racing, how much do you feel like Richmond can kind of bring back that. I don't want to say bring back the caution factor with all the talk about green flag racing. I mean, do you feel like all that talk is just a little cycle that we're going through now, and things can kind of get back to normal, so to speak, this weekend?
Yeah, I will not go down that path. I do not think it's right to say we need wrecks. I mean, that's just a messed up thing to say. So I think we need good racing, and I think that if you got guys that are able to race close together, if you got guys that are able to come through the field, because their car's better and they can actually pass people, then you're going to get some excitement. And that excitement might come in the form of wrecks. But a place like Richmond is a place where, regardless of the aerodynamic devices, regardless of the tire compounds, this place always seems to have a way that a guy can make something happen, and that's good. But yeah, I stick to my statement earlier that we need to be able. When a guy has a fast race car, he has to be able to drive that thing up through the field, and all you have to do is go back and look at old racing tapes. I mean, look at even just when I came in, and 6 or 8 years ago, we were just a little less reliant on the aero stuff. The cars were just a little bit more spread, and I think that's something we should strive for. And if we don't, we're still. I mean, the racing's still awesome. And what Tony and I's competition at the end of last year was spectacular. I mean, it's not that we can't do it. I just think that it could be we could set things up so that we'd have more of that.